All right, welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm David.
I'm Gary.
And now we're going to look at once Congress gets selects the Speaker of the House and gets that, the next hurdle that Donald Trump's 47th presidency has to overcome are going to be what should be the inevitable legal challenge as to whether or not he can even be seated as the President of the United States. The 14th Amendment, Section 3. I'll post a link up here, but basically says that no person shall be seated in a number of different positions as an officer of the United States, state legislature, an executive or judicial officer of any state, to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof, but Congress can overcome this with the 2/3 vote. And it says no person shall be a senator, a rep in Congress, or elector, president or vice president to the United States. So Donald Trump is somebody who is fits that first part. He's an elector. Elector of. But yeah. he's going to be an officer of the United States.
Yeah.
He's pledged a oath to the Constitution to the United States, and the January 6th insurrection against Congress was preceded by Donald Trump giving a fiery speech at the Ellipse saying, "If you don't fight for your country, you won't have a country left fighting for." Pointed them to Congress and told them to go, and he would meet them there.
And also, after the whole insurrection started, he sat around and did nothing.
Dereliction of duty for nearly 3 hours, with people his members of his inner circle pleading with him to call off the insurrectionists.
Yeah,
and calls were coming from Kevin McCarthy inside the building that was being assaulted. Basically, it was understood those were Donald Trump supporters that were out there doing this, and they knew Donald Trump had the ability to end it. And after about 3 hours, Donald Trump did say how everybody was special and he loves them and it's time for them to go home. And guess what? It stopped at that point.
Yep.
So now, while Donald Trump has not pardoned, well, he was the president. He couldn't pardon any of the insurrections. He didn't do it beforehand, but he's been promising to do it as part of his campaign trail. That they're not insurrectionists, they're patriots. So yeah, there's your aid and comfort part too.
Yeah. And and the whole J6 anthem and how these are political prisoners. This is, you want aid and comfort out the wazoo for
right.
This, right?
And this is also the real frustration with the Supreme Court and the court systems that were impacted by this. There was going to be a hearing. Well, they did January 6th committee hearings to get the information out to the American public. But then there were going to be charges brought up against Donald Trump, specifically just him, to put all that evidence out there in the court of law, and the Supreme Court blocked it. They blocked it for months until it couldn't happen before the election. So the American people that needed that information to make an informed decision never got it.
Yep. And it's, I was reading in the comments, there was one person that made a comment yesterday that really kind of stuck with me, or maybe it might have been today. She's in a family, she's a blue dot in a red family. And all of her relatives are like, oh, all of these things they say about Donald Trump are lies. And he's really this great person. And she's like, my youngest daughter is the only one that hasn't lost her mind over Trump. Or the youngest granddaughter is the only one that hasn't lost her mind over Trump. And it's simply because these folks have never been given the truth. They watch Fox News, and that's all they get is a series of lies that Trump tells them that's validated by Fox News and validated by the MAGA Republicans that are in office. So, all these trusted institutions continually lie to them, so they don't have the right information to make an informed choice.
Yep.
Because it's Nancy Pelosi and the evil radical Democrats that are trying to take down Trump. That's what they're being fed. They've been fed it for since 2016, but really since 2020, they've been really had it shoved down their throats. And Fox didn't even. I don't think they even covered the January 6th hearings.
Yeah, why would they? That's not what their viewer. They called Arizona for Biden, and then they lost hundreds of thousands of viewers in a very short order because they normalized politics, and all those viewers went to OAN and Newsmax. So they learned their lesson that it's better just to perpetuate the lie. Just asking questions,
Yeah, and you got Jessica Denson, who used to be on Midas Touch, and she started her own channel, who's really been beating the 14th Amendment Section 3 drum. And she had Glenn Kirshner on her show a week or so ago, and they were discussing that. And Glenn Kirshner's like, that seems to be a legitimate avenue, but I'm not sure how, who needs to bring this up? Is it a class action suit? Someone has to file a case in the courts and get this thing rolling up.
Rolling, yeah.
So I guess that's maybe that's one of the things we need to find out, is someone going to get this damn ball rolling?
Yeah, maybe that's the first thing. So let's look at the 14th Amendment, Section 3, and is this going to delay the inauguration of Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States?
Yep. And a shout out to Cash Peters, because he had a video of Trump and the Constitution, and it showed Trump basically trying to attack the Constitution, but the Constitution kept fighting back. And this could be one of those things where the Constitution fights back.
If only it was in a Trump Bible that the school system could buy.
For entertainment purposes only, the foundation of the reading is
the Four of Wands, the opening day. So asking, will this delay thing? This is talking about, the opening day. Does opening day get delayed? What's going to be the challenge with opening day? You could say it's the legacy of the United States. The whole thing with the Constitution in your 14th Amendment, and you've got a 4 and a 10. So there's your 14, if you want to look for numbers on that one. This is a big deal. This is a big deal because if this doesn't qualify for the 14th Amendment, I don't know what does. What's the point of having the 14th Amendment if this doesn't qualify?
Yeah, at least Section 3, right?
Yeah, exactly. In the past, you got the Nine of Swords. This is a mess. This is, again, I think the constitutional scholars understand the dilemma that's happening here. And this could otherwise be the Ace of Pentacles, could also be somebody finally bringing this up in a court case. Mm-hmm. There's got to be a big push to enforce the Constitution on the upcoming president-elect. Current situation is the Lover's card. Do we have the stomach for it? Does everybody just want a kumbaya moment, or are you actually going to fight for your country here? And the thing with the Constitution is that the Constitution is supposed to be what unites all of us in this country. It is the founding document. And it's funny because a lot of the MAGA chuds will have pictures of the Constitution and stuff like that, and American flags, eagles, pickup trucks, rifles, and the Constitution. And it's like, well, okay, this is a key document that you say you've read a million times and respect. They've never read in their lives.
The only thing they know is the preamble, and that's only because it was on Schoolhouse Rock.
Exactly. Overarching, it's the King of Swords. It's going to take a legal case to do this. Somebody's got to. It's pretty cut and dry what the law is, but do people have the stomach to do this? Lesson to be learned is the Seven of Swords. God, it makes you wonder. hate that Seven of Swords card there. Oh, I hate it anywhere in the reading unless it was in the past. It's a word of warning almost, although you don't really have to do a Celtic cross to get the word of warning. But elections can be stolen if you don't take a stand here. You've broadened the reasonable doubt thing. You've set precedent by not doing this. It's almost like this is really important that you enforce your own rules.
Yeah, to me, this is your last chance to get it before he gets away.
Pretty much. And the outcome is the Page of Pentacles. Maybe somebody finally does bring it up. The opening salvo of this. I'm not, I gotta say, I'm not really strongly convinced. I mean, the strength is there in the reading that this is something that should happen. It really comes down to, do folks have the stomach for it? I mean, it really is coming down to, are you willing to fight for your country and fight for your constitution, or are you just going to roll over and take it? Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I get from it. Well, I would like to say, yeah, they're going to fight, and we're going to back the Constitution and crush them in the courts, and all the MAGA folks are going to wake up because they love the Constitution so much they have their underwear made out of it, but they don't, and they won't.
I was telling David earlier that I actually had a dream about Kamala Harris last night. I mean, I never dream about political figures, okay? So
really,
this is the second time I've had a dream about her. And it was, I was having a conversation with her basically saying, you're the one that's telling us that if we fight, we win, but we need you to get out there and fight. Lead the charge, start that fight. Give us a reason to believe that there's something worth fighting for. And I said, we love you, but you have to get out there and get this started.
And she's got the personality to do it. As a former district attorney, as a former attorney general, could you think of anybody more qualified to bring up a legal case against something like this?
And this doesn't have to do anything with election interference or election fraud. This is simply 14th Amendment. This man engaged in an insurrection and gave aid and comfort to insurrectionists, and he was the president of the United States. Dear God in heaven! I mean,
and it doesn't. It doesn't say it doesn't say anything about beyond a reasonable doubt or anything along those lines. It just says, did he do it? Yes or no?
Yeah, and the Constitution,
very low bar.
It's funny because the Constitution talks about the Senate, it talks about the House. It doesn't talk about the executive branch, but I think it's implied that if you're going to hold a congressman or a senator, it stands to reason that the executive, the chief executive, is also going to be held to at least that same standard.
Right. And maybe if it goes to the Supreme Court punts on it and says, well, it doesn't say the president, so you need to make an amendment to the Constitution to include the president. I wouldn't put past this current makeup of the Supreme Court to do something like that. Mm-hmm. If this case were challenged and it made up to them, that would be their off-ramp that they would take. But it would be such a ludicrous interpretation of that thing. It's just, again, your reputation would be sullied beyond. There'd be no way to recover your reputation at that point.
Okay,
history will not be kind.
No, clearly. Okay, so will the 14th Amendment prevent Trump from being inaugurated?
No, prevent it now. So this could say, if it goes to the Supreme Court, they say, yeah, never mind. Yeah. Or nobody brings it up in the first place.
Will it prevent him? Okay, foundation is the emperor. Okay, presidents are kings. Yep. I mean, you would think that even Biden could just go ahead and say, yeah, you know what? No.
Yeah.
I can start this charge just
send SEAL Team 6 after him and execute him, because that's apparently okay.
Yeah, apparently it is. He's an enemy.
And it was Trump that said we do bad things to traitors of the country, so declare him a traitor and have him executed. There we go. Problem solved.
Problem solved.
Cocktails.
The challenge, the cross, is the Two of Wands. Basically, looking out in the future, looking at, we've got decisions that we need to make, and we got to do something that, in the long run, benefits us. Underneath it, Ten of Swords, bringing something to an end. This could be bringing Trump's political career to an end. Could also bring our, if you don't do it, bringing our democracy to an end as we know it.
I have some hope when you get that Ten of Swords underneath that you're asking, will this prevent him or bring an end to his the attempt to be the 47th president? You get the Ten of Swords. That's not a great card to have in your in that spread. If you think the answer is, yeah, I'll be fine out of this.
Yeah, so this is the energy we're not seeing. So maybe they're looking at it and they're just not advertising it yet.
Can you imagine if we finally found the bridge too far for this Supreme Court?
Good Lord. That bridge is way the hell out there, apparently.
Yeah.
In the past, we had this Seven of Cups. This is Trump's mind is already gone. I mean, this is all about illusions and delusions. His mind is, as Dave put it, it's like sentient cottage cheese. It's also, don't believe everything you're seeing. What you're seeing is not necessarily the truth. Now, that's a great card for the current energy, justice.
Yeah.
If you wanted the 14th Amendment, Section 3 to delay or prevent Trump from taking office, that's a great card to have as the current energy. Current energy is justice. We have to do what's right. We have to follow the laws.
What I throw out there is that, the Supreme Court could be contemplating here. We've already made presidents of the kings. How much further do we need to go for this guy? Our integrity is being questioned by making that decision. And now this court case has now landed in our lap again.
Yep. That could also relate to the Seven of Cups.
Well, the Seven of Cups, that's one of the interpretations of the Seven of Cups is integrity.
Yeah. Or lack
they're looking at, we've made him kings. What more does he want? We've already sacrificed our integrity for this guy. And here comes another case that we have to do. What the heck do we do with this?
Yeah. And the thing is, the Constitution's pretty damn clear.
Yeah, it's the problem, isn't it? That's why when you have to split the hairs and say, well, the president really isn't an executive officer, isn't an officer. It's like the incredulity. I can't say it.
I don't
incredulousness. Keep going.
Overarching energy is the Queen of Pentacles. This is about taking care of the Constitution, taking care of the United States, taking care of basically the citizens of the United States. The Constitution is the whole it's the whole map. The whole foundation of our democracy is on the Constitution, and you have to take care of it. It's a living document. It can be amended. It can be updated and changed, but you still have to mind it, and you still have to care about it. Lesson to be learned is the Hierophant. Don't mess with the government. The government is supposed to be taking care of the citizens and taking care of the Constitution. This is one of those things where it's a representative democracy. We're supposed to be representing the interests of the American people. The Constitution is the foundation of this democracy. If you value the Constitution, you have to follow it. You take an oath as a government official. Hell, I work for the government. I had to take an oath, and I work for a county to defend the United States against its enemies. If I have to do it, I am, and if I'm held to it, I'm pretty sure the president needs to be held to it.
No, I don't know about that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more important. Outcome, the Two of Pentacles. Interesting. So it's a balancing act. Will it prevent him from becoming president? I guess at this point it's not decided. They're weighing the benefits and the consequences of it. It's not quite the definitive.
Once you throw three clarifiers on the Two of Pentacles, or a clarifier until you get a major arcana on the Two of Pentacles. So I'm wondering what's being diminished there.
Is that the top or the bottom?
Top.
Or does it matter? Top. Okay. 3 clarifiers on the 2
Or
pentacles.
throw up to 3 clarifiers until you hit a major arcana. If you get a major arcana, okay, so away, moving away from things.
Yeah, it's trying to move to calmer waters.
Holding on to power.
Trump isn't going to want to give up power. He wants to keep it. We got the Ace of Pentacles.
Big opportunity. It's what's happening with that 2 of coins here is that it basically, the Supreme Court, what they're trying to balance here is they're basically sending Trump away. It's like, no, you can't do this. Depending on the rule, you can imagine there's going to be an uproar over this. But it's also protecting your value, protecting your reputation, and expressing what your values are. I don't know if Trump necessarily is going to win on this.
Yeah, you got that Ace of Pentacles coming up because you had that in your reading as well. It's just, we got to take care of everybody and get out of these turbulent waters. We got to calm people down. Trump's not going to want to give up his power and his authority. I won this election. I need to be president. And maybe there's kind of something new is coming out. Something of value that's a beginning. I don't know if this is new appreciation. I just don't know what that is going to be. And you hit it on yours too.
Honestly, no, you don't. You got to stop after 3, my friend. If you want to throw your wands in there, your page of wands in there, go for it. Honestly, I think they will punt on it and just say, "Oh well, officers of the court got to." That 4 of coins makes you feel like they're going to narrow the scope of the Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. And they'll take that off ramp. They'll just say, well, it doesn't say president, so they don't define what an officer is, even though there's reasons to believe they have defined it elsewhere in there. They may do that. But what's that opportunity? I think that opportunity is that 14th Amendment, Section 3, that could lead to changes. That could lead to new amendments that bolster it. Basically, if they find an off-ramp for Trump, it's going to lead to an opportunity to seal off those loopholes. Mm-hmm. That would be one way to interpret it. You can't count on the Supreme Court to do the right thing. You just can't. Yeah. It's not made up to do that, and it's been bought and paid for. Again, your Harlan Crows in this world, they own Justice Alito. It doesn't cost that much money, apparently. Invite him on a vacation once a year.
Well, this wouldn't start at the Supreme Court. It would have to start at some federal court, I would think.
Yeah, right? Of course, and it will be, no matter who wins, it'll be appealed, and it will go right up the food chain.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to go to the Supreme Court. There is if Donald Trump loses every case, he's going to appeal it all the way up to the Supreme Court. If Midas Touch brought this lawsuit, they will appeal it all the way up to the Supreme Court. Why take it if you've done it this far? Why take it laying down?
Yeah.
Who knows? I would not count on the Supreme Court to do the right thing. That's all I'm saying, and that's a sad state of affairs for this country.
Indeed. Right? Do you want to ask about the Ace of Pentacles? Do you want to clarify on the Ace of Pentacles, or you want?
I've already clarified it. They have a big opportunity to do this and not repeat it. But I think really what that big opportunity is, if they choose to support Trump and put him in power, that big opportunity is to fix the 14th Amendment later on, so it won't happen again.
Well, Trump was definitely put on this world to break things.
Yep, and point out where all the problems are, all the gentlemen's agreements that really aren't laws, and laws that don't have teeth.
Yep.
Well, when you hear about you can't, you have to divest yourself of all your private businesses so you don't self-enrich as the president. Guess what? Yeah, there was even laws there, but there's no punishment. There's no teeth in them. There's nothing to say. And if you do it, we're going to chop off all your limbs, feed you to piranhas, and set you on fire. There's no punishment for it. You're just not to do it, or else what? It's like an obstinate little child. Clean your room, or else what? Or else.
Yeah.
And then they don't do it because there's no punishment.
No, what I like to do when I was a kid was, if I was annoying you, if you do that one more time, then you do it one more time before they could tell you.
Yeah,
what the punishment
always fun. Always fun to you do it one more time. I'm gonna hit them before they finish it. Then they feel like they can't back up what they said they were gonna do. Exactly. Now quit it.
What are you gonna do? One more time. If I do it one more time, what?
I'm turning the wrong way.
All right. I think that's all we got.
Yeah. Will it hold it up? Potentially. Because it really will be a challenge in the courts. Then you're going to have a challenge in the House too. So they could go simultaneously. But I don't know if the Supreme Court's going to work out ideally in this like it should. But, been wrong before. Okay to be wrong then.
Yeah. Amen.
And, Michelle just flashed a thing here saying Jimmy Carter just passed. So, yeah. Well, obviously, people that see this will see it several days later. But, yeah, sorry. Our condolences to President Carter and his family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll catch you on the next video.
Okay. And for one more thing, there's my secret card, which is still that page of wands. There's some messaging that's coming out there. A new action is going to be taken. We just have to wait and see what that's going to be.
Yep. All right. Thank you again. We'll catch you on the next video. Take care.
Bye.